What's going on, everyone? What's going on, everyone, and welcome to this week's Vegan News episode. How may I help you with this?
I have bad news.
Go ahead, share it.
The Irish government is giving 110 million euros to agribusiness.
That's that. See, this is why I say we need groups like Vegan Justice League. I'll talk about it. Don't worry. You can leave. I'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know. Peace. Sorry about that. Happens every single time. So up until yesterday, I actually had mostly good news. A bunch of bad things happened, but it wasn't until I found out that the budget of 2020 for Ireland has been announced, and if you know the results, you'll lose your faith in history, life, planet, the galaxy, everything. €110 million. Now, for those of you wondering where this money comes from, taxes. My tax, your tax, everybody's tax. Every single year goes to support the animal agriculture industry. And that is why groups like Vegan Justice League are so important, because they work on things like this. Now, I as a vegan may not be supporting the animal agriculture industry, but my taxes are every single day. So just to have an idea where this 110 million euros go to, I did some more research and found out the real numbers. So we have 85 million euros for the beef industry, 14 million euros for seafood, and 6 million euros for livestock. I mean, this is just mind-blowing if you think about those numbers, you know? If you think that's not bad enough, the greyhound racing industry, an industry that almost everyone would oppose if they knew what they're up to, they received 16.8 million euros. 16.8
million euros
from tax money. I'm sorry I started this video with such a bad news, but it's happening, and we can't just act like these things are not happening, because if we act like it's not happening, then we're not going to work on it. So anybody in Ireland is watching this, you should get to work. Maybe contact the Vegan Justice League, see how they can help you, because this just is so bad. Like, and I can't do anything about it. Like, people outside of Ireland, I don't know how much they can do about it. Maybe like you can share the article and everything, but we need people in Ireland working against this. Another bad news, a pro-vegan campaign banned after negative pressure from the dairy industry. The awareness campaign, which featured posters on trams in Belgium, was pulled after just 3 days. The posters carried the slogan "Milk is deadly" for 150,000 Belgian calves per year. For those of you who don't know, the dairy industry actually kills so many animals, and I used to be vegetarian for 8 years thinking I'm doing enough, but obviously I wasn't. In the dairy industry, once they impregnate the mother against her will, you can call that whatever you can imagine it is, they take the baby away once the mother gives birth, because if the baby stays with the mother, the baby will drink the milk of the mother, which is the most natural thing. But of course we don't want that, because we want the milk for ourselves to make cheese, butter, and drink milk for some reason as grown human adults. Now, that's why almost 150,000 calves are killed every single year in Belgium alone. And so this ad was just pointing that out, like it's literally facts. But the dairy industry put so much pressure that they managed to remove it. The organization also mentioned, it is not our intention to shame farmers for how they do their work. We simply want to stress that behind every dairy product there is always animal suffering involved. As consumers, we have a choice to buy plant-based products instead. Fortunately, those were the only bad news I found this week. Now let's get to the good news. The Game Changers is best-selling documentary of all times on iTunes. All times. We talked about this already. I think it's the 4th or 3rd episode in a row that I'm mentioning the Game Changers, but things are getting better and better for them. So first it was available on iTunes. It was the most ordered, like pre-ordered documentary ever on iTunes. Now that it's out, it's the most ordered and paid documentary on iTunes. Not only that, This month it will also be available on Netflix, and it's also already available on YouTube and Google Play. So for those of you who haven't watched The Game Changers yet and you have Netflix, a few more weeks and you will get to watch it. Another great news that we could talk about for hours is the Rebellion Week that is taking place right now, organized by Extinction Rebellion. Now, a few months ago, they managed to get the UK government to declare climate emergency, but the government didn't really do anything else other than declare climate emergency, which, like, I don't know, it's like you're sitting at home and someone enters your house and is gonna kill you. And you're like, I am aware someone entered my house, and you just sit there and chill. Like, you're gonna die. What is wrong with people? The fact that people have to go out there, 150 activists have been arrested already. This was when this article was published, which was 4 days ago. I mean, it's ridiculous. But it's important to note what they're asking for. Extinction Rebellion has 3 demands. Firstly, it wants the government to declare a climate emergency. And secondly, the UK to legally commit to reducing carbon emissions to net zero by 2025. Thirdly, it says these changes must be overseen by specially formed citizens' assembly. Now, one thing we have to mention about what's going on right now is also Animal Rebellion, which is kind of an unofficial sister group of Extinction Rebellion, which talks about the climate emergency by pointing out the most important thing we should all be talking about, animal agriculture. For some reason, Extinction Rebellion doesn't really talk about this. I mean, I don't know why they're like this. I've talked to so many people, but no one really has the answer. So if you do, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. If we all know that the most important thing we can all do as citizens is to cut out animal products, then why aren't they saying that? Like, I get it, you want system change, completely valid to want system change and to fight for system change. That's amazing. But maybe at the same time, you could also tell people, hey, until we get the system change, maybe you should go vegan. I don't know what's the reasoning behind it. I hope they do that. Now, Animal Rebellion is doing that. They're asking for system change, and they're asking for a plant-based food system, which is what we need to ditch all the animal products. And they're doing that by also taking action and engaging in civil disobedience, non-violent, direct action. Yesterday, they actually even occupied the offices of Cargill, which happens to be one of the most horrible companies in the world. It's run by a family in the US. They happen to be one of the biggest companies in the US, but also a family that has like 14 billionaires in it, because they just like destroy the Amazon, burn it to ashes, and then just plant soy and corn and other things, and then use it for cattle ranching, just ship their products all over the world, killing people, killing animals, killing the environment. So I'm very happy, and I salute every single activist from Animal Rebellion who occupied the offices of Cargill. Now that I covered kind of a section on Animal Rebellion, let's get to the next good news. Meat traders support Animal Rebellion by saying things need to change. So what they're doing is they're asking for a system change by DEFRA. They're asking to change the food system to a plant-based food system, which would be amazing for the animals, the environment, and humans. Piers Morgan, the biggest vegan troll, also the biggest adult-sized baby, promises to watch The Game Changers after meeting the world's strongest vegan. So basically, Patrick Oboumian, who happens to be the world's strongest vegan, but also Germany's strongest man and a world record holder as a strongman, he carried 555 kilos and walked 10 meters with it and broke a world record. He went on Piers Morgan's show, and he also carried a bunch of people on his shoulders. He got Piers Morgan to say that he will watch Game Changers. I mean, listen, respect for Patrick for having the patience to sit down with someone who, like Piers, who's like literally a crybaby drama queen, a bully, an extremely immature person to argue with, to discuss with, constantly making fun of people who are trying to make this world a better place. So yeah, thanks Patrick. Another good news, and this is something that we're seeing more and more of. If you have watched previous episodes, you will know what I'm talking about. Scientists urge mayors to take meat and dairy off school menus to save planet. So for those of you who don't know, schools and universities around the world have started removing meat from their menus just to fight climate change. But this time, instead of it being the news of another university or school removing meat and dairy off their school menus, it's scientists urging mayors to get it done. Scientists have published an open letter which they have sent to mayors around the world calling for less meat and more plant-based foods to be served in public canteens like schools and hospitals. I mean, how can one thing be the solution of so many different things? I'm very happy to see scientists also getting involved in this, because it's very important to have science like as your backbone instead of just like somebody's opinion on what's going on. Talking about scientists, 12,000 doctors just urged the FDA to put cancer warnings on cheese. How great is that? Look at this. physicianscommittee.org. Ditch the dairy. And you can see Neil Bernard on the left, one of the most amazing doctors alive today. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is urging the US Food and Drug Administration to place breast cancer warnings on cheese. 12,000 doctors. I mean, how much more do you want? You know, the Physicians Committee of Responsible Medicine is saying this. So this is really great. Another amazing news from this week. Airbnb will no longer offer experiences that harm animals. For those of you who don't know, Airbnb is a huge platform where you can just go and rent a place, a studio, a house, a villa, whatever you want, whenever you're traveling somewhere. I think it's like the #1 booking platform for accommodation. But they also provide experiences. So if you're in a city, you can also book experiences. I don't know, let's say like a walking tour in the city or other experiences like events, things like that. Now, the great news is that Airbnb will no longer promote tourism that harms animals. The home sharing platform introduced Airbnb Animal Experiences, a new standalone category that tourists can pick from on Thursday. So, what exactly is included in these guidelines? The new guidelines bans elephant interactions, big cat interactions, marine mammal captivity, wild animals in entertainment venues, and animal souvenirs. Sporting events including trophy hunting, bullfighting, rodeos, greyhound racing, horse racing, and horse polo are banned. This is, I almost want to send them an email. This is really great. Greyhound racing. You hear that, Ireland? This is so amazing. Even horse racing, which some people like will never agree is animal cruelty. I'm so happy to see that Airbnb is taking this step forward. Now that we're done talking about the good news and the bad news, what's left is the weird news. So for those of you who don't know, there was a study that came out recently saying that humans should continue eating processed meats and other animal products and nothing will happen to them. Well, they got exposed. The red meat is healthy study has ties to big meat. So this guy, before making this study, he has made another study where he was telling people, no, like, you don't need to eat less sugar. Like, who gives birth to these people? That sugar study, which also appeared in the Annals of Internal Medicine, was paid for by the International Life Sciences Institute, an industry trade group largely supported by agribusiness, food and pharmaceutical companies, and whose members have included McDonald's, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Cargill, one of the largest beef processors in North America. Surprise, surprise! Oh my god. Do people think they're gonna get away with these things? Like, what's wrong with them? Anyway, last weird news for today. Controversial half-beef, half-vegan burger provokes confusion. So a restaurant called Brewdog made a burger that is half Beyond Meat, like a vegan burger, and the other half a beef patty, like an actual dead animal flesh burger. What is wrong with people? Who comes up with these ideas? You know what? Let's imagine how this happened. They were all sitting down around a table thinking about how they can make the next burger that's gonna make clients go like, I wanna go there and try this. And someone said, I know, let's take a burger that is made for people who want to eat vegan and another burger that is made for people who want to eat dead animals and put them together. The two type of people who don't eat each other's product, we're going to make a product that mixes those products. Brewdog. I don't know if anyone has told you this, but you're doing it wrong, alright? That's it for this week vegan news episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for the support, all the comments, the feedback, everything you've been sharing with me, sharing the video itself. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to stay up to date, of course, don't forget to click on that bell button so you get a notification when I upload the next video. Thank you so much also for all the patrons who have been supporting my work. If you also want to support my work, which helps me so much, check out my Patreon link or Ethics Over Habits to get hoodies, t-shirts, and other vegan merchandise. Everything is organic and fair trade, of course, needless to say. Again, thanks so much for watching. See you next week.